Hi guys, I'm here to tell you about how to make an ice cream cake, which I'm going to make for Mother's Day. I know I have another video on it, but that was my very first time making it, and I'm pretty skilled at it now because I probably made 10 ice cream cakes since that time. In fact, they're the only cake I've been making. I usually make a really nice cake with my own buttercream icing, but everybody's really gone for the ice cream cake, and it's really easy to make. There's a few steps involved, but it's a very easy thing to do. Anybody can do it. So some of the things you'll need is hot fudge. You'll need, this is a 12.8 ounce jar of hot fudge topping. You'll need 2 containers of ice cream. You can use different flavors. I have not used different flavors yet besides chocolate and vanilla. I usually get the vanilla bean vanilla. They did not have it, so I got the homemade vanilla this time. I have always used Breyers in it, and so we're going to let this one defrost. This one is going to go in the freezer until we're ready. And then now I make cookie crumbs. You get Oreos. I just happen to have the chocolate. Sometimes I leave the cream in there, so the chocolate is okay. I usually try to scrape out the most part, but I know people that leave the cream in and it still comes out fine. I scrape most of it out. But anyway, you're going to need some Oreos. And then you're going to need heavy whipping cream. I usually get by with a little over a quart, sometimes a quart. I always buy 2 quarts to be safe. All right, now the next thing you're going to need to do is 12-inch cake circle. Now the first time I made this, you might remember I used the bottom of the cheesecake pan, but it proved difficult when cutting it, and if you had a surface you didn't want to scratch, I found this to be a better way. Now, some people will put it on a cookie sheet. Okay, the cookie sheet fit in your freezer. I like to use my bottom freezer up here. I do have a chest freezer downstairs if I wanted to use the cookie sheet, but this method fits right in there. So I get a 12-inch Wilton cake circle, and you can get these anywhere, Walmart, Amazon. I'll put a link in the video description. And then I have my cake circle. I believe this is a 9-inch. Okay, so what I do now, because I want to chill this before I put the ice cream in it, you can use a painter's tape if you want. I'm just going to use, just a cellophane tape, okay? But you could use a painter's tape. I'll show you why it doesn't matter, because we're not really going to, it's not going to show. So I'm just going to stick it on the side of the pan, right, like that, right? Not going underneath. Center it, because that's where your cake is going to be. I'm just going to pull it off on the side here. And you'll see I'm not going to really tape on this side. You see, I'm kind of keeping it up and going under to the bottom. So it's not going to pull off anything. We are going to put an edge on the cake with a stabilized whipping cream, which to do that, you'll either need piping gel or powdered gelatin, unflavored gelatin. Okay, so we've got 2 sides. That's just going to hold, we just want to hold it down, because sometimes, like, if your ice cream is a little bit soft, it can run out under the side, which is not a big thing, because when you put it in the freezer, then when you go to put before you take the ring off, you could just take a hot rag, towel, and cloth, and go right and take that off, any chocolate ice cream. Okay, but that's what I do, okay? Just like that, whoops. Just like that. I'm going to put this in the freezer now and let it get cold. I'm going to open the ice cream, because the first time I did this, you might remember, I thought this would take longer than it did, and I had like a very soupy ice cream. Came out good too, because it was Breyers. Sometimes if you're using a cheaper ice cream and it's got like all these additives, could come out funky once it's thawed. So you don't want to do that. You should try to use the best ice cream that you can, for this. At Breyers works well. All right, so I'm just gonna leave that out. I'm gonna put this in the freezer. Okay, oops, I have to put this in the freezer. Okay, so we have that. We'll let this, and then when you go to crush your cookies, I'll show you what we do there. We're going to get a Ziploc bag, right? And we just take a little cup like that, and we'll take our cookies, twist the tops off. Doesn't matter if they, and I take the majority of the cream off, but it doesn't matter if I have like that on there. That's fine. No point, like, don't buy the double stuff or anything. I do have people that have topped with cookies and cream, you know, Oreos crushed up. I use sprinkles, which I'll show you. You can use colored or chocolate, whatever you like. Find that the chocolate cream is a little messier than the vanilla. But I use about at least one row, maybe 1.5 rows. Yeah. That one came out pretty clean. See if we can get this. A lot of times when you see that, look, that one was really good. Look at that. Really good. Really, really good. That's how most of the vanillas come off. This one is better. Maybe we're getting somewhere. Pretty good. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. This is a lot of chocolate cream. Okay. So let me clean my hands. Okay, so I'm gonna get my rolling pin, right? And what I do, I put them in there, and I'll just do this first. Kind of roll over them, tamp down a little bit. I'll turn it. Nabisco used to have something called chocolate wafers, which a lot of people used to use in baking. I mean, they were like round wafers. And then I was thinking, they used to make Mystic Mints. Remember those were Oreos? You'd go under there, it's actually an Oreo dipped in chocolate, and then Oreo made them themselves, but they used to call them Mystic Mints. They were chocolate dipped mint Oreos. I don't know if Oreo still makes those. I did see Social Teas in the store, which I haven't seen in ages, and Lorna Doones. Okay, that's good, and it's good that you see a lot of this chocolates, the cream left will stick to the side of the bag, so you really are left with, I don't know if you can see that, the chocolate crumbs. Okay, so that's ready. This is not, almost, see it's getting soft. Okay, I'm gonna let it get a few more minutes. Okay, so this is pretty soft, okay? So I'm gonna start putting this in here. The ring is cold, so it doesn't take long to get chilled. And I'm just going to kind of break it up and then spread it out. Okay, Jimmy's got that TV loud again. I'm going to actually get something a little stiffer than this. See, it is coming out a little bit. That's okay. We can wipe that up very easily. But I'm going to get a little something just to get this off. Okay, and kind of smash it down like this. Kids are not killing each other. So I'm sure Gail, and if you don't know who Gail is, then you're not in our live chat, so don't worry about it. It's kind of like a Mrs. Kravitz from Bewitched. Okay, and you don't have to go like crazy trying to make this exactly smooth. Just try to get it as you know, you don't just want like a huge, you just want to make sure it's kind of even. Okay, but the cookie crumbs are going to fill it in. If there's any, again, there's going to be divots. And you don't want to completely melt it either, so just go over it. Get it on there like that. And we're going to put that in the freezer. I'll just put that on top. Okay, all right, I'm going to put this in the freezer and we're going to let it set. Before I do that, let me just grab this. I'll wipe off some of the chocolate. Okay. All right, I'll be back when that's done. Okay, so you'll see like a little bit of chocolate came out on the end. If you hear rustling around, so in little toenails, my Westie's walking around while I'm doing this. We're looking for ice cream to fall. I'm gonna put the vanilla ice cream out to soften. I'm gonna open the top in a minute. Got our hot fudge, okay? Did that, like this is no problem. I'll just go with a hot rag at the end and you'll see hot cloth. Okay, so we're just gonna dump the entire jar of hot fudge right on there. And of course it's not hot. We don't want to heat it up. That would not be good for our ice cream cake. And okay, and then we're just going to spread it out. Again, as evenly as we can. But it, you know, this cake comes out so good. The other time we had to freeze it longer than intended. The fudge actually like just, it infused the chocolate. It was really good. But because you can even keep these, I just put like a saran wrap over the top if I'm keeping it for an extended period of time after we've put the cream on it. So okay, now we're going to put the chocolate crumbs on the top. Okay, so we just keep layering them around. And you'll see how you can't, it's not even, this same thing happens with the vanilla when you take most of the cream out. You don't really see it. But with the chocolate, I just like it. My kids like chocolate Oreos anyway. And if there is any, it's chocolate in here. So it's just, it works out well. But just layer that down. Usually I, kind of tamp it down. And you'll see the cream and stuff. So that actually, the bag actually helps to get some of it off, what's ever left on there. So you don't have to go crazy. Okay, so there's your crunchy layer. Now we're going to put this back in, right? And hang on, let me just open my freezer. Okay, what are you looking for, Zoe? Okay, so there we've got our thing. Go back to the freezer. Okay, so let me get. So we'll just let this melt. And okay, so this is pretty soft.
Thanks. I'm sorry, honey. Oh my goodness.
What else is new?
Boy. Honey?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't believe it.
Don't worry about it? You say don't worry about it?
No, I just can't believe the camera in that stupid video. So we're just going to layer this in. Again, just try to smooth it out as best you can. Okay, so then just spread it out. Try to get it as smooth as possible. Okay, I think the first time I made it with a smaller round, it still worked. I didn't think I was going to get everything in, but it did. Okay, this one, put this in right now. At this point, it's better to let it freeze overnight, but if you can't, I mean, you can still do it in a few hours, but it's best to let it freeze overnight, and then we'll add the cream on it tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to make a stabilized whipping cream, and okay, so we're going to make a stabilized whipping cream. Stabilized whipping cream is not going to have any difference in taste or anything. It's just going to be exactly more stable and easier when you're using for piping and, you know, decorating. So, and it will stay if you even have it on something that's not frozen longer. So it's just a great enhancement to regular whipped cream. And it's very easy to do. So what we're going to do, since we're using a quart of heavy whipping cream. Of course, if you're using a cup, you'll have the recipe, half the recipe. And we take 8 teaspoons of cold water. We have 8 teaspoons of cold water here, right? Get this out of the way. And we have 2 teaspoons of unflavored gelatin. So we just sprinkle this over. I'm going to let it sit about 5 minutes. Okay, and while it's sitting, we're going to put the heavy cream, the powdered sugar, and the vanilla into the bowl of our stand mixer. So again, this is going to be 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So let's get that going. Get our bowl over here. Like I said, sometimes I use, I need extra cream for the piping, but lately I have been making it with a quart of making a little mess. Okay. Okay. Let me get this away. Mess here. Okay, so we're just gonna let this stand. You see how that's like already solid? It's quite so now what we do here is once the gelatin is set, we're going to place the bowl in the microwave and heat the gelatin until it turns into a liquid, which will take about 10 seconds. But let's get the rest of the ingredients. Here's the powdered sugar. And let me get the vanilla. Okay. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Okay, and now I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put my whisk attachment. That wasn't too bright. Hang on. Let's put the bowl on. Snap that into place. I'll move this over here so you can see. Okay, and then I'm going to our whisk on. Okay, put that out. I'm going to put this 10 minutes, 10 seconds. In the meantime, I'm going to start we're going to let this mix up for about 1 minute, and then we're going to add the gelatin. So soft. You don't want to overbeat. Okay, that's about good consistency for this. So what we're going to do now is take the cake out, and I'm going to show you how to release it, okay? So let's get the cake out. Before we do that, what I do is, these are my favorite microfiber cloths. These are called magic towels, and they were originally from Bed Bath & Beyond. I got them in all places of Imagine Ollie's, and they are the greatest things because you can use them to clean your stove, like that underneath that top, it's got ceramic. The greatest things in the world. They're a lot of times microfiber, they say they're absorbent and they're not, but these are really absorbent. Anyway, I'm just going to wet it, and then I'm going to just put it in a bowl in the microwave for about 30-40 seconds. That way it's hot and it helps to release the ice cream cake and also clean up around the edges. So we've got our cake out, right? We're going to loosen this. Okay, and I'm going to take the tape off now. Okay. Put that up here. Okay, so this is perfect. We're going to just clean up the edge first. It's also going to help to, as we're going to clean up the edge and put the rag, the cloth, on the side of the pan as we clean up. You don't have to get too crazy because we are going to put a border. We have that now. Now we're going to just kind of coat it in the cream and put it back in the freezer. We're not going to do any of the decorations yet. All right, so just go around the sides and then get it back in the freezer quickly. Don't worry if you have some chocolate crumbs coming through, because we're going to put more on it after this layer freezes. This is kind of like a crumb coating of whipped cream. No worries. Okay, so I'm going to put this into the freezer. I should have my turntable under here, but hang on. Okay. I'm just going to put this in the freezer and let this set, and then we'll decorate it. Okay, so we're going to take the cream and we're going to put it into the piping bag. I'll use a mason jar to hold it. It's got the tip affixed to it, and I'm using a open star tip, which is a large open star tip, and I can put the link in the video description. So I'm just filling up the bag here with the cream. Now I realize that I could have beat this cream a little bit stiffer. I was just so afraid of overbeating it, because that's what I did on the last video, and I haven't done it, but I don't know, I freaked. But it turned out fine. It was okay. I could have beat it just a little bit more, but it was still okay. Okay guys, so I'm just putting the whipped cream on there. Usually I smooth it out a little better on the sides, but I don't know, I was in a rush and had a lot of things going on, so it's a little bit rough, but whatever. And then I'm going to pipe the edge on after I put these sprinkles on top. You can use chocolate sprinkles, you can use whatever you want. I've known people that have even put the Oreo cookie crumbs on top. You have a lot of versatility. And I just go around the edge with this on top, and then I'll do a border on the bottom. I do add sprinkles. I could have spread the sides out a little cleaner, but again, I was rushing. I had a lot of things going on. But Okay, now I'll put some sprinkles on. Sometimes I put the sprinkles on the side. You can do a lot of things. I might just take, you know, a hot knife before I serve it, just smooth out a little bit on the side, because I don't normally leave it like that, but I'm seeing in the video that I did that because I was rushing. But I'll probably will do that in that one area right there. I do have extra cream too that I could smoothen out with. And that is it. That's getting ready to go back in the freezer now until I serve it tomorrow. So there we go. I hope you like it and I hope you try it. Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye now.